The teacher I was with was Miss Marcy Stewart. I was in the 4th and 5th grade self-contained room. Number of students were 12 and there were 3 teachers present. The assessment types were Read 180, the beginning of year, middle of year, and end of year exam, the STAR test, and the IEP assessments. Read 180 is the test that helps to qualify students for intervention. In the intervention, they receive intensive reading instructions, build reading fluency and comprehension, and small group instruction. The beginning of year, middle of year, and end of year exam measures the student's progress throughout the year. It determines that if they're staying up to date with the academics that they need for their grade level. The STAR test is a test that is administered late in the year of the grades 3 through 8th. A letter grade is given to the school based on students' performances. Students are given scores. The assessment scores compares their scores to other students in the same grade level. IEP assessments, which is the individual education plan, are the way teachers determine what a student needs in their individual education plan. This can be completed in many different assessments. Every student has a different plans, so each goals are different. So there is not a set assessment that is provided. The teacher has to assess based on their knowledge of their student. Marcy explained that coming up with goals for a student's IEP is trial and error. She gives the students work that she believes they need to improve on. She gives them a worksheet without manipulatives and has them complete it. She then gives them the appropriate manipulatives and the same sheet again. She grades it and determines if it is a good goal. Adding double digits with regrouping was a good goal for this student because the student does not understand regrouping but has knowledge of addition. I got to have hands-on experience with helping determine the student's self-help goal. We started out with the question, was the student able to button clothes? The student mastered the task of buttoning their shirt on the first attempt. Next, we assessed the student tying their shoes. After several attempts and several knots, we showed them step by step how to tie shoes. After a few more knots and a little progress, we settled for the student's self-help goal to be tying their shoes. After determining the goals the student needed, then a binder is produced with the student's individual education plan goals. The student will then work on their binder daily. At the end of each week, an assessment will be given to the student. Hopefully, the student improves on the goals weekly. In their binder, there are dividers for each goal the student has. In each divider, there is a weekly progress report. The weekly progress is recorded on the data sheets. Behind the data sheet is the documentation on what the student accomplished that week. Determining the student's needs for their IEP binder was challenging. I learned that it can take days to get a binder put together for a student. The first step is figuring out the student's needs to master based on their prior accomplishments and the knowledge Marcy collected by getting to know her students. Then assessment is given to be sure that the target goal is appropriate. Next, the IEP is wrote up and a binder is created.